100 email subscribers. That's the first number that actually means something for a course creator. Not 10, not 50, 100. Here's why that specific number matters so much. At 100 subscribers, assuming you've built the list the right way, with a relevant lead magnet and a welcome sequence that actually delivers value, you have enough of an audience to test whether your course idea resonates, to sense check your price, to get honest feedback before you pour months into building something nobody asks for, and at a realistic conversion rate for a warm, well-nurtured list, which tends to sit somewhere in the region of 10 to 30% when you eventually make an offer. 100 subscribers could represent your first few course sales. Not life-changing money, but proof. Evidence that the thing you're building is real, that people want it, and that the system works. And at the very beginning of a course business, proof is worth more than almost anything else. The problem is that getting from 0 to 100 feels impossibly slow when you're in the middle of it. You post your lead magnet, you drop the link in your bio, you wait, and the number crawls from 0 to 3 to 7, and then seems to stop dead. The reason it stalls is almost always the same. You're relying on one method. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 methods for getting your first 100 subscribers. Some are passive, they work while you sleep. One of them is active, slightly uncomfortable, and it's the fastest thing on this entire list. If you only take one method away today, I want it to be that one, and I'll tell you exactly when we get to it. Let's go. Let's start with the most passive method of the 5. The one that once it's set up, never asks anything of you again. Last week, we went deep on YouTube. Why it's the platform I'd prioritize as a course creator, and how to make videos that attract the right person. The connection to your email list is direct, and most people leave it broken. Every YouTube video you publish has a description. That description should contain, as the first or second link before anything else, the link to your opt-in page. Not your website homepage, not your course sales page, your opt-in page. The specific page where someone hands over their email address in exchange for your lead magnet. Here's why the position of that link matters. Most people who watch a YouTube video never open the description, but the ones who do are disproportionately engaged. They've watched, they've decided that they like what they saw, and they're looking for the next step. That next step should be joining your list, not landing on a homepage that has no idea what to do with them. And there's a compounding effect that makes this more powerful than it first looks. YouTube isn't a feed that forgets you in an hour. It's a search engine that handles something in the region of 3.5 billion searches a day. A video you published 3 months ago is still being found today, and every one of those viewers is still seeing your description link. Every video you publish adds a new permanent entry point to your funnel. The first video adds 1. The 10th adds 10. The 50th adds 50. The list grows faster the more content you have, which is the whole argument for treating YouTube as a long-term asset rather than a short-term traffic hit. What to do today? Go back through every video you've ever published and make sure your opt-in page link is in the description. Then make sure every new video from this point forward opens with that same link. Method 2 is still passive, but it works in a different way, and it's probably the single easiest win you'll get all week. Every social platform gives you a bio, and in that bio there's usually exactly one clickable link. That link should go to your opt-in page, not your website, not your course, not a link tree with 8 options that create decision paralysis. Your opt-in page, one clear destination, one clear offer. Let me go platform by platform because the details differ. On Instagram, the bio link is the only clickable link in your entire presence. Posts don't carry links, and story stickers vanish when the story does. Every reel, every post, every story should be quietly building towards the moment someone taps your profile and clicks that link. Link in bio is the most common call to action on Instagram for a reason. On Facebook, both your personal profile and your page allow a bio link in the About section on a profile, in the description and website fields on a page. It pulls less traffic than Instagram as a rule, but it costs nothing to set, and anyone who lands on your profile after seeing a post is warm enough to be worth directing. Your YouTube channel page separates from your video descriptions, has its own links section beside your channel art. Put your opt-in page first and label it plainly. Free, then your lead magnet name, get it here. And on LinkedIn, TikTok, or anywhere else that you keep a profile, the same rule holds. Wherever there's a bio link, it points to your opt-in page. The reason this is passive in a slightly different way to method 1 is that it works whenever someone visits your profile, which means it works in direct proportion to how much content you're publishing that sends people there. On its own, a bio link is a trickle. Combined with consistent content, it becomes a real and growing stream. So, what to do today? Check every bio you have. If the link isn't your opt-in page, change it now, before you finish watching this video. This is the method I promised you at the start, the one to take away if you take away nothing else. And it's the one almost everybody skips because it's the only one that feels uncomfortable. Here's the honest reality of starting from zero. The passive methods, descriptions, bio links, content people find organically, take time to build momentum. 3 months of consistent content might get you to 50 subscribers through passive methods if you're very lucky. It might get you to 20. Personal outreach can get you a meaningful chunk of your first 100 in a single week. Not because it's a better long-term strategy, it isn't. The passive methods compound and outreach doesn't. But in the critical early stretch, when you need proof and you need real people on a real list, personal outreach is simply the fastest path there is. Here's exactly what to do. Write down 30 people you know, personally or professionally, who genuinely fit the description of your ideal student. Not people who might be vaguely interested, people who have the specific problem your course solves, or who are in the specific situation your course is built for. If your course helps new coaches get their first clients, who do you know who's a new coach struggling to find clients? Write their names down. Take your time. Be specific. 30 names. Now, the uncomfortable part. Send each of them a personal message. Not a mass email, not a broadcast post, an individual message to each person on the list. It doesn't need to be long. It needs to be personal, specific, and honest. Something like, "Hi," their name. "I've been building something I think might be genuinely useful for you. I've put together then the lead magnet name, that, and then one sentence description of what it does. Given what you've mentioned about, and then the specific relevant context, I thought it might be worth sending your way. Here's the link if you'd like it," and then put in the opt-in page link. That message does 3 things at once. It references something specific, so it reads as personal rather than a broadcast. It describes the lead magnet in terms of what they get, not what it is. And it offers one clear, low commitment next step. 30 messages. A realistic conversion rate from a personal message to a warm contact sits somewhere between 30 to 50%, far above anything a cold broadcast achieves, because the relationship is already there. That's 10 to 15 subscribers from one afternoon of uncomfortable but genuinely effective work. Do this before anything else on the list. The passive methods take weeks to warm up. This works today. Methods 1 and 2 put your link in static places. Method 4 is about weaving it into the content you're actively creating, and it's the one that quietly compounds the hardest over a year. Every piece of content you produce, every video, every post, every blog article should at some point reference your lead magnet, and people should be pointed towards your opt-in page. Not aggressively, not in a way that makes every post feel like a pitch. Naturally, where it's relevant, as a service to the person who just consumed something useful and wants more. The formula is simple. Create something genuinely useful. At the end, or at a natural transition, say one line. If you found this useful, I've put together a lead magnet, and name the lead magnet, that goes deeper on this exact point. The link's in the description, or in the bio, depending on the platform. One sentence, one link, delivered only after you've already proven the content was worth their time. The key is consistency without saturation. Not every post needs the call to action. That gets repetitive, but every third or fourth piece should reference the lead magnet, remind people it exists, and give them a reason to click. This matters because buying decisions rarely happen on the first exposure. The old marketing rule of 7 has become 5 to 8 meaningful touch points in most modern research, so a single mention is rarely enough. Consistent, low-key reminders are how you accumulate these touch points without ever feeling pushy. So what to do today? Look back at your last 10 pieces of content on any platform. How many referenced your lead magnet? If it's fewer than 3, you've just found an easy improvement for your next 10. The last method is the one that surprises people most when they see how well it works, and the one most new course creators never try because they assume they don't have enough credibility to be invited into someone else's platform. They're wrong, and here's why. In almost every niche, there are creators, podcasters, community hosts, and newsletter writers who've built audiences that overlap with yours. They're not your direct competitors. They serve a similar audience with a different angle or format, and they have a problem you can solve. They need to keep delivering value to their audience consistently, and creating all of it themselves is hard. Your solution is to create a piece of value for their audience, a guest post, a podcast interview, a free live training, a contributed resource that serves their people and costs them nothing but a platform and an introduction. In exchange, explicitly or implicitly, you point their audience to your opt-in page at the end. A podcast interview reaching 2,000 relevant people with a clear call to action to your lead magnet at the end can add 50 to 100 subscribers in a day. A guest slot in a newsletter with 5,000 relevant readers can do the same. A free training for someone else's community, I'll teach your members how to do X for free, just introduce me at the start, can generate 30 to 60 warm subscribers in an hour. The objection I hear most is, why would anyone let me on their platform? I'm just starting out. Well, here's the honest answer. Most hosts are not looking for famous guests. They're looking for knowledgeable, reliable, well-prepared people who will show up and deliver something genuinely useful. If you can do that, and your knowledge is relevant to their audience, your subscriber count is almost irrelevant. What matters is whether you add value. So here's what to do today. List 5 creators, podcasters, or community hosts whose audience overlaps with yours. Draft a short, specific pitch. What you'd offer, why it helps their audience, what you're asking in return. And send it to all 5 this week. 1 yes from 5 is a realistic result. 1 yes is enough to matter at this stage. Everything I've described today, the description links, the bio links, the personal outreach, the content calls to action, the guest appearances, funnels all to the same place. Your opt-in page. That's the point. All 5 methods work together because they all lead to one destination. A well-built opt-in page with a clear offer and a welcome sequence that does the relationship building automatically. We built this in week 1 of this series. The opt-in page, the delivery email, the 5 email welcome sequence. It's set up once and it runs for every subscriber, regardless of which of the 5 methods brought them in. Someone who arrives from a YouTube description and someone who arrives from a podcast appearance land in exactly the same place and get exactly the same welcome. That's the power of having the infrastructure in place before you drive the traffic. And this matters more than it sounds because email is where the trust you build actually pays off. Litmus is widely cited state of email research puts the average return on email marketing at around $36 for every dollar spent, roughly £28, comfortably ahead of any other channel. That return doesn't come from the tool, it comes from the warm relationship the tool lets you build and keep. Here's the concrete part, because the fastest path to 100 subscribers is not picking the single best method and waiting, it's running all 5 in parallel. Every week, publish one piece of long-form content, a video, a blog post, or both, targeting a specific search term your ideal student is actually typing with your opt-in link prominent. Post 3 to 5 pieces of social content on your one chosen platform, and make sure at least one of them references the lead magnet. Send 5 personal outreach messages, not 30 in a panic, 5 a week, consistently. Over 6 weeks, that's 30 messages, and at a 30% conversion, around 9 subscribers from outreach alone. And pitch 1 guest appearance a week. Over 8 weeks, that's 8 pitches, and if say 2 say yes, you've added 50 to 100 subscribers from appearances alone. That routine, run consistently for 8 to 12 weeks, will get most course creators from 0 to 100, faster if any single piece of content breaks through, or any appearance lands on a particularly relevant audience. The reason most people never reach 100 isn't that the methods don't work, it's that they try one method passively, see nothing immediately, and quietly conclude that list building is too slow to bother with. List building is slow at the start, and it's the most valuable thing you can do for your course business. Both of these are true at once. Start the routine this week, not next week when things have settled down and you've forgotten about this week. If you haven't yet built the opt-in page and welcome sequence that makes all 5 of these methods work, week 1 of this series walks through the full setup step by step. It's linked in the description, and if you're not on System.io yet, the free account link is down there too. The opt-in page builder, the email marketing, the automation, all on the free plan, no monthly fee to start. Next week is one of the more opinionated videos in this series, possibly the most contrarian. I'm going to make the case that trying to post on every platform at once is one of the worst things a new course creator can do, and show you what to do instead. If you've been spreading yourself across 4 or 5 platforms and feeling like you're getting nowhere on any one of them, next week is going to feel like permission to stop. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're working on your first 100 right now, tell me in the comments where you are, how many subscribers, and which methods working best for you. I read everyone, and the answers genuinely shape what I cover next. I'll see you next week.